All right, now we're going to look at some problems that should look really familiar to us by now because all we're determining is whether or not these polygons are similar. And there will be one just like these on the test. Now the way that we determine if they're similar is by showing that their angles are congruent and their sides are proportional. And remember, that just goes back to our definition of similarity. Well, the first thing we see when we look at number 8 is that we have a bunch of congruency marks on our angles, and that's a good sign. And it looks like the corresponding angles are indeed congruent. Again, a really good sign. So now we just need to check that our sides are proportional. So I'm going to start by setting up my proportion. And when I do same with same, I'm going to do top over bottom every time. Well, let's start with the long side on top, 16 over the long side on bottom, 8. The bottom side on top, which is 10. That's kind of hard to describe. And the bottom side on bottom, which is 5. Then last but not least, we have these slanted or diagonal sides, 7.6 and 3.8. Now I only wrote that ratio once, even though it happens twice in the shape, because it's the same for both. Now I need to reduce in order to tell if they are the same. I know these two can both be divided by 8, so 2 over 1. And I know that 10 over 5 can both be divided by 5, that's 2 over 1. You might be suspecting by now that we're going to have a pattern, but just for practice sake, I'm going to get rid of that decimal before I simplify. It's going to give me 76 over 38. And an easy way to check this would be to say, okay, well, I need this to be 2 over 1, so I need 38 to divide by 38, and I need 76 to divide by 38, and be 2. Well, 76 divided by 38 is 2. So we have 2 over 1. Since the sides are proportional, they are similar. Let's look at number 9. We have two parallelograms. Well, we know about parallelograms that their opposite angles are congruent and that their consecutive or adjacent angles are supplementary, or they add up to 180. So 70 plus x, that remaining angle, equals 180. Well, if I subtract 70 from both sides, I get x is 110. So already, just by checking our angles, we can see that we have no congruent angles. So these are not similar. And we didn't even have to set up a proportion. On number 10, our next one though, we can tell right off the bat that these angles are congruent, right? Because they're all 90 degrees. They're all congruent. We call these rectangles. So now we need to see if the sides are proportional. Well, I'm going to do the length, 21, of the top over the length, 7, of the bottom. And I'm going to do the width, 15, of the top over the width, 4, of the bottom. Now, just like number 8, I'm not going to write these over again, even though they do occur multiple times, because they're just the same. So 21 over 7, well, I can divide both those by 7. We just reduce to 3 over 1. And 15 over 4, well, that doesn't go in evenly. It doesn't reduce, so it's just 15 over 4. And those are not equal, so they're not proportional, and these shapes are not similar. On a test, this would be sufficient work to show that something was not similar. Similarly, showing that you calculated the angle measurements would be good work. And then writing your proportion that's equal would be good work to show that something is similar.